Добар ден, го гледате неделното интервју на Радио Слободна Европа. Наш денешен гостин е амбасадорката на ОБСЕ во земјава Нина Соумалајнен. Амбасадорке, лидерите на 4 најголеми партии во земјава се договорија изборите да се одржат на 11 декември. Создадени ли се сите предуслови за изборите да бидат регуларни?
Of course, as we know, the four parties indeed this summer agreed that when it comes to them, the conditions are sufficient to be able to organize the early elections. Then there have of course been a number of steps taken since then. The government to organize elections has been established. Then the chief editor for the MTV one, ad hoc body for media monitoring, and also the methodology for media monitoring has been agreed. So in a way it has been a good progress towards organizing the early elections. Now the next obviously will be then the dissolution of the parliament, also as has been agreed according to the deadlines. And then for the State Election Commission to continue working towards organizing the early elections. So at the moment, it looks very good, and we hope also that these steps will continue to be taken and the implementation of agreement to be done.
Државната изборна комисија констатираше дека има отстапувања во 5% во бројот на гласачите во 3 изборни единици, а дека тоа е законска пречка за одржување на изборите. Колку ова може да биде проблем за нивно спроведување?
Yes, according to electoral code, there is this 5% rule, and in most of the countries there are sometimes deviations, or very often actually there are deviations between the electoral districts when people move between different districts and so on. But these should be really dealt with in a kind of a timely manner and in a regular periodic views. And now, of course, there might still be time to address this. However, earlier this year, when there was the preparation for the June election, this was not raised as an issue then. So it might be, it is a discrepancy, but also I just would like to mention that, for example, according to the Venice Commission code and standards, they can go up to 10% with this kind of deviation. So again, it's a regular thing which should be continued to be viewed and fixed regularly and normally in a good time before the elections.
Има ли време да се донесат измените до распуштањето на собранието на 12 октомври?
There's probably still time, but whether it is needed, I mean, that's still really to be. It's an issue, but there might be some other issues which might be larger. So.
Кои се тие прашања?
One issue is a smaller issue is a gender equality quota in the State Election Commission, for example. I mean, there are many of these kind of technical issues, and it is up to the electoral system of every country to continue addressing them. And I have to say that probably none of the elections in the world is perfect. But when this kind of periodic reviews is done all the time, then it helps to make sure that at least most of the elections management and standards are met.
После многу дебати околу избирачкиот список во јавноста, многумина сметаат дека избирачкиот список е прочистен за незначителен број на гласачи. Колку навистина избирачкиот список е прочистен?
Well, I believe that very important effort was made by the State Election Commission, by the Ministry of Internal Affairs, by the experts. So, and of course the political parties also addressed this in their agreement. And I think very good measures were taken to ensure that the voter list can be credible. Of course, the voter list should then always reflect the actual situation, not the situation of 10 years or 5 years ago, but where people do live. In many countries it's done automatically, you know, every year, let's say 1st of January, whoever lives there and votes in that particular constituency. So that's why in the same way, as the district issue, also voter list should be, automatic periodic checks. Now some measures were taken regarding this 40,000 approximate amount of people, and some of them did re-register, but for the rest there will be still chance to register before the elections. And when it comes to the 170,000, the supplementary list, individuals who are believed to be, many of them probably live abroad, additional layers of monitoring for the elections have been agreed upon. So I think it was a good progress, and it's progress to the right direction.
Побара ли владата краткорочен и долгорочен мониторинг од страна на ОБСЕ и ОДХР како што беше најавено?
Indeed, the OSCE ODIHR, Office for Democratic Institutions and Human Rights, based in Warsaw. It's an independent institution of the OSCE, and they were invited for the elections which were scheduled earlier this year, and this invitation still applies. So in a way it's seen that it's the same election process. And they now they have received additional funding from the OSCE 57 participating states to continue with the election observation process later this year. So they are planning to come and do their regular observation mission. Normally it's about 200 to 300 short-term observers, about 20 to 30 long-term observers. Normally they come 6 to 8 weeks before elections. So it's now really up to them. We are waiting to get the information on what is their timeline for the observation mission. So I believe it will be a normal, quite sufficient and quite very good extension of this observation mission. I think that should be very sufficient for also these elections.
Остануваат уште неколку обврски да се завршат пред одржувањето на изборите. Може би ли на крајот да биде единствена пречка тоа што Уставниот суд ќе се изјасни за специјалното јавно обвинителство како неуставно?
This was also addressed in the July agreement with the four parties, and I believe they have committed themselves to, if needed, if Constitutional Court is taking some decision in this issue, that then the parties have committed themselves to amend the law as necessary, and I believe this commitment should hold. I will trust also that commitment. But I would like to not go to eventualities of issues. Of course, the focus should be on the implementation of the Persian agreement and the latter parts of the agreement of this summer related to all of its aspects.
Прашањето околу бегалците и мигрантите се уште жешка тема во Европа. ОБСЕ неодамна предупреди дека регионот ќе се соочи со поголем предизвик. Очекувате ли кризата да земе поголем замав?
I think the challenge for all of the countries, also for the international community, but really for the countries of all the world. I'm talking about also European Union, for Southeastern Europe, is really to maintain a balanced approach, because obviously there is a need to help and assist those who are fleeing war, fleeing conflict or persecution. But then of course there's also the need to somehow control the flows of individuals, and also there might be, as we know, there are some security concerns also sometimes. So it is really how to combine these two in a very humane manner, but in a manner that ensures that the countries and the states still know what's going on in their territories. But what is important, I believe, is to really coordinate efforts in each country. For example, it's important, I believe, to have a proper registration of people and identification of people when they enter, and also offer possibility to request asylum as is provided by the international standards. Then take decision on the asylum request. Then also offer assistance. There are many women, children, old people, and cooperate with other countries. So I think there's lots of things still to do, but I think countries of the region have already taken quite a few steps.
Ви благодарам за издвоеното време.
Thank you very much.
Тоа беше се во неделното интервју на Радио Слободна Европа. До гледање до наредната недела.